All right, welcome back to Nugget Garage. As we kind of hinted last week, there's a new project car.
Yeah.
You may have seen a glimpse of red and chrome bumper and 60s sort of ish car in the background.
With later model Japanese turbo stuff in it.
So the reasoning behind this is the 2JK20.
That's the Scott Hoffman that we remember. He's got his back.
A friend of mine that's painting it, he's a perfectionist, and the car bodywork wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Basically, it's in bare metal now, and the panel work, it's probably in the first 10 years of its life, I'd say it's had a pretty decent hit down one side.
Or both.
Both, somehow. The bog job on it was amazing, actually. You really couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. It was good, and it somehow lasted the time. Anyway, it's. Well, the end result is it's going to take a lot longer, and I don't want to rush him. He's just going to do it till he's happy with it, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
The engine's built, the gearbox is built, everything's sitting here waiting to go. So a friend of mine years ago built a car pretty much alongside of mine. Yeah, pretty much. And he used my website back then to design the back end and everything, and it's a very similar setup to what I had. And it came up for sale again recently. I missed it the first time, and I didn't let it get away this time.
Yeah, definitely worth buying.
Yeah. So it's your guys' fault anyway, because the pole when we did this build,
when we did the Grandpa build,
it was Grandpa, and it was a 3RZ.
It was a 3RZ Corolla too.
Corolla.
So,
yeah. So I don't even know why I'm leading against this thing.
Yeah, this actually got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So there was no way I was buying an EH with an RB in it.
Yeah. No.
So this is a KE10 with a 3RZ. So
Yeah, which was the pole.
I'm good to my word.
Yeah, so the 3RZ KE10 build's gonna run into a lot of money, really. Like, you've got the KE10, well, it's a KE11, whatever, shell, but the time you start building motors, power glides, wheels, roll cages, because it's gonna need it, turbos, intercoolers, whatever, it's gonna add up to a lot of money.
You know what else? We've just built like 6 cars in a year and a half. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I want to go racing and stuff.
That was easier.
This is pretty much done. I've literally got to get a Nexus from Haltech, rewire the car, and then race it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's all that's left. Like, everything else is done in it. So, I suppose we'll tell the people about exactly what it is, besides the fact that it's a red KE10 that isn't an EH Holden.
All right, so Luke Coy built this car probably 15 years ago.
Yep.
It's powered by a 3RZ. It's got a power glide in it. It's got a Hilux diff. Pretty much the same as my car, but 4-cylinder.
Yeah, and smaller.
And very small. You don't realise how small. Actually, I can't fit in it. It's another thing I've got to do. I've got to put a fat boy seat in it.
Still disappointed about the red and blue, but kind of suits.
How good do they look?
Yeah, sure.
So this car's been around for quite a few years. There's been quite a few shops that have played with it. Pretty decent combo actually. It's got an 8285 precision on it. I can't remember who did the exhaust manifold. It's a nice job. Go Pipes. The engine's actually been freshened recently by JW Automotive. It's a GRP alloy rodded 3RZ. It's got fire rings, copper head gasket, 3 2400cc injectors per cylinder.
Per cylinder.
Per cylinder. So it actually has the same amount of fuel as my alcohol 2J.
Which, well, it's actually alcohol.
It's an alcohol 3RZ. Yeah, it's a methanol engine. There's no intercooler. It's got a 3-stage dry sump pump on it. Kinsler mechanical fuel pump. Runs Power Glide. I have to ask what the converter is. I haven't had it apart yet. So basically, it's a fresh engine. I don't have to do any of that stuff. What I do have to do on it, I think, is rewire it. It's got a Link Extreme in it, which is not a problem. It's just I don't think it can run 3 injectors or 12 injectors total on 8 drivers when they're low impedance like this. So I'm going to use a Nexus on this. I'm keen to get a Nexus wide. This is a good idea for me to do it. I can use the one I've already bought for the K20, and then I can get another one for it at a later date. But basically, this thing's been wired with a big fuse panel and relay block on the passenger floor, which I wanted to have a passenger floor, and it's a mess and doesn't work. Basically, that's why the car was for sale. All right, so the cooling system on this radiator's under the back, similar to my 2J K20 when it was a street car. Still is a street car. Davies Craig water pump. It is. It's fine. So the guys who worked on this previously, I think they had cylinder head lifting problems, but they were trying to get rid of pockets of air, I think, in the top of the head. So it's got these weird air bleeds that sort of fit into this swirl tank or whatever it is. I don't know if that's necessary, but that's the way they were doing it, so I'll probably leave it there. There's obviously a header tank that pulls water into the pump to the back, and Luke's realised that you don't want air in the engine bay, and there's nothing in there that needs to be cooled, so he's put clear perspex behind the grille to try and minimise that drag, which is a pretty cool idea. So we'll probably leave all that stuff, because I'm still thinking about trying to make this thing a road car as well. I think they will have,
I think it needs to be a road car.
Yeah, it can be. It's just, you have to run it on ethanol, and it doesn't have an intercooler, so obviously you don't make power on ethanol.
Well, it doesn't. You don't need to make.
You don't need to make power on the street anyway. So, yeah. Moving around from the front, it's got all fancy stuff that I can't afford. Usually, like billet specialty wheels and double bead locks and spindle mount front wheels and strange brakes. It's got a Precise Power Glide in it. The diff is a Hilux diff, similar to my other Corolla. It's got billet axles. It actually has the same 2-link boring bar, anti-roll bar setup as what doesn't work in my other car. It probably works exactly the same in this. Yeah, so it has a boot mount fuel tank with a big MagnaFuel. I think they're a 2,500 horsepower rated pump. That's job is just to move fuel to the front tank in the guard, which gravity feeds the mechanical pump. Coolant system overflow and the breather can are all in the back behind the axle, which is a good idea. I've done that on the 2J car recently as well. The roll cage in it's pretty nice. Yeah, the roll cage is not that bad. I don't know why they've put this bar so far back, but I think once I put a fat boy seat in here, I'll be able to get in and out anyway. And if this car runs as fast as what I think it will, pretty sure I can't have removable side intrusion as well. So
yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So this whole mess down here is what I'm talking about. Somebody who wired this didn't understand the functions of a relay, I don't think. And there's just way too much crap going on, way too many unnecessary connections and power posts, and we've got ECUs now that can do bump and creep, and we don't need separate things. And this engine is designed to make some pretty stupid power with lots and lots of boost. And it doesn't have CO2 boost control, which it'll also need. So basically everything that's in the car, wires, I'm taking it out. It's going to have a Nexus for the PDM, no fuses, no relays, no bump box crap. I'll probably still use the IQ3 or put an IC7 in it, something like that. And I'll make it start back on the key. For some reason people like doing this shit. I don't understand why, when there's a key in a barrel and it does it all. Yeah. So basically I'm going to put normal street sort of seats back in it that are still legal, and we'll get this thing to the track, and we'll be trying to run it at 7. I think we're going to try and have to beat the...
It's got to go for a 7. The car's it's already gone 8-1.
Yeah,
So
and it's well and truly capable of
it's
1,000 plus rear wheel.
a bloody fast car already.
So whether it'll 60 foot like it needs to run it, who knows, but something to try, something to film. Go
Yeah.
and do some racing instead of welding and cutting and grinding
wiring
and shit
Stuff
over and over
and things.
and things. The bodywork, I think this car must have been painted probably, 25 years ago or something, 20 years ago. I don't know, I can't remember the history before Luke had it. It's honest, it's got its blemishes, you know, it's got a crease in the door, there's a dent in the roof, there's something or other going on there, but I'm not going to fix it.
It's a 68,
It's 50
67.
plus year old car.
Yeah, it's old. And
Yeah.
it's a pretty genuine thing.
I'm pretty happy to own it actually. I've loved this car from the first time that I saw it.
Yeah,
Um,
it is cool.
I couldn't really afford to buy it, but I wasn't letting it go.
It's a little bit nicer than the rotary one.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And it now kind of, I have a Turbo 4, Turbo 6 and Turbo rotary Corolla. And a Turbo 8. And a Turbo 12. Maybe I have an issue. Actually, it has a parachute that's probably suitable for the job, unlike my other car.
it'll be a good thing.
I'm going to take the steering wheel off the K11 and put a stock steering wheel back on it, because that's how I roll. I don't like those little
I
steering
think
wheels.
the other one probably got one, hasn't it?
It does, I had a look.
Yeah. Pilfered
Oh.
some bits off the other one. So,
Mm. All right, well, so obviously I've got to finish Grandpa. This week's video was supposed to be about Grandpa, but Grandpa had an issue this morning, or yesterday morning,
Grandpa,
which you won't find out about. It'll just miraculously be fixed, and we'll be starting it next time you see it.
back to being fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I think, is that us? Is that a video?
I don't know if that's long enough.
It'll have to be. How much more talking can we do about a car that doesn't run?
There's some other stuff that we could show about it, like it's got pedal boxes under the dash and
Yeah.
jiggers.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
All right then,
See ya.
bugger off. Should I talk about how I afforded it? So I pretty much managed to buy this thing off 1 month's worth of ad revenue off YouTube. Yeah.
Because YouTube millions. Just go back to where the... Wow.
Yeah.
So they know. Legit ratting at the back door.
That's slow as f***. Get with it, you f***.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's no Gary. What's this chicken boy? What's this all about? Oh, it's just going by itself.